All right, we are live. What's going on, y'all? This is BMOC. You're now tuned into BMOC.TV. A special episode. We're going to be doing our Sunday music show, so don't worry about that. But we had some really serious debates that's been going on, not just with ourselves, but also on Facebook, social media, and different platforms. Talking about this whole, who is that in the background? It's like this popcorn. Who eating popcorn?
I think it sounds like static.
I don't know. Yeah, some statics from somebody. In any case, people are talking about the whole Facebook French flag filter that Facebook allowed. This goes back, obviously, to the terrorist attacks that have been going on in Paris. Mass shootings, suicide bombings. A lot of people have been hurt. Hundreds of people have been killed. Over 130 people have been killed. So it's been a really serious issue, and to show support, Facebook allowed this option. But there's some people who disagree with that option, who are basically saying that it's not the proper way to support, or that supporting that filter is putting French lives above other situations that are going down. So I put a status up yesterday because I was really irritated by this lack of empathy for the human life. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's so hard to judge people that you don't know. We want to assume that people are being trendy. We want to assume people are just doing things for show without knowing their character, knowing who they are. And I feel like people are trying to mock others for showing that respect. Mr. Chad Graham on the call right there with the burgundy shirt, disagreed with purple, sorry. Disagree with me. I see you post some things about the issue throughout the week. So I want to kick things off and go around the room and see how everybody feels about it. But since me and you, I guess, started this debate, which started this episode, I want you to tell me, what is up? What is your big issue with people changing the profile pictures to the flag? What is it that we're missing that's the problem?
Okay. First off, I just want to say that it's also a group of people that feel the same way I do, but they're a little bit more extreme with it. They basically been saying things like F Paris, F the people. Basically, the attacks in Paris are just like a case of like chickens coming home to roost. Mm-hmm. I don't support that rhetoric at all. I think a lost life anywhere is unjust, but my biggest deal with the Paris flag situation is, if we're going to do it for Paris, then why can't we do it for these other countries? And, a lot of countries in the world that have been getting attacked by these terrorists, whether it's Boko Haram or ISIS. Basically, these attacks have been going on throughout the Middle East. A lot of casualties. 2,000 people were slaughtered in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. You had another attack in Nigeria this week where there were more casualties. And then you had the Kenyan attack in April, which killed 147 students. So if we don't have flags, if Facebook doesn't have a flag for option for Kenya, Nigeria, Syria, Mali. There was an attack today in Mali. Mm-hmm. Why do the masses feel the need to support that flag for the French when all these attacks are happening everywhere? I think it's I think it's a secret agenda going on where they're actually trying to because France is an American ally. Mm-hmm. We're trying to rally behind them, and we don't really have any foreign interests in Africa because mm-hmm. basically they're not our allies. They don't have anything to offer us mm-hmm. Politically. So America has no stake in that. But I feel like with this Paris situation, with the flag being flown for Paris, it shows that I feel like it's like a Black Lives Matter situation, but instead of it being in America, it's in a situation where if Black Lives Matter here, they should matter abroad too. So that's my biggest beef with the Paris flag situation. I'm not here to say those people who lost their lives in that tragic accident shouldn't be mourned, or their lives shouldn't be celebrated, or we can't we should honor them. But if we have the option to honor those people, we should also have the option to honor Nigeria and Kenya and Syria and Beirut, where other attacks have happened around the same time as well. So,
okay,
that's my piece.
Thank you. I have tons of questions about everything that you said. Before I get into that, Deshaunus, say what's up to the people.
What up? What up, everybody? I'm glad that sound is gone, first and foremost, so shout out to whatever happened with that. But what's up, man? Always love to hop in. BMOC, it's a priority. It's Friday night. I could be turning up. I probably would be with my family, but that sounds better to say than actually. So what up? You want me to go in, or you going to do introductions?
We're going to do introductions. Erica from the Radio Failed. Say what's up to the people.
Hi, everybody. It's E, the Radio Failed. Yeah, man, the radiofailed.com. I'm posting a new episode up. We actually kind of touch on this topic a little bit on that as well. So I'm going to the radiofailed.com and check it out.
Absolutely. Chris, say what's up to the people.
Y'all know what it is. The baddest chaplain, Chris B here in full effect. Host of Songs That Could Do No Wrong, Sound Booth Radio 1. What's good, everybody? Glad to be here with y'all.
And Chad, again, as you opened up the discussion, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? I'm kind of multitasking right now. My boy is playing the Spurs, but this I'm giving this my full attention now. But I want to say what's up, everybody.
You're gonna need it.
I'm gonna say what's up to everybody. I know I had like the unpopular opinion, but I can stand by that opinion and support it with facts. So
okay,
I'm good.
I hope so. All right, so for first, let me just say that I think what the disconnect is, and I'm gonna ask everybody's opinion on it. I think the disconnect is the delivery of the message, because Facebook as the company, as the corporation, gave people the option to filter out their profiles, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't see anybody vote on this. I didn't see the people ask for this. Facebook, as the company, gave us the option to do this, right?
That's correct.
Cool. So, you're not going at Facebook, though. You're going at the people that use Facebook. You're not going at the corporation. Mm-hmm. You're not asking Facebook why there aren't other options for Haiti and Nigeria and Beirut and all these other places. You're not asking them for that. You are mocking and generalizing the people that are using the platform, the people that aren't running Facebook, the people that have no power over what the media broadcasts. You're not doing that. You are attacking them. You're not attacking Facebook. And I'm just curious, off of what you said, why aren't you speaking more for Facebook? Why aren't you asking the questions for that? Why aren't you asking why they made this option? You're saying the agenda, and apparently Facebook will be a part of the agenda, since you're saying that their support of the American ally, because that's who we benefit from, but yet you're not going at them. You're going at us. So why aren't you going at them?
Okay. The reason why I'm going at the people, because the people that did it instead of Facebook is because, Facebook is a corporation, but the people that I see on the profile, I actually know them, so it's not like a real personal attack. I'm just like stating, I had a couple of memes and everything like that, but the reason for it is because they actually it's not like Facebook made you do it, Facebook presented the option. They presented the vehicle for that choice, and the people that did that, they went on there and they made that choice. That was their decision. Facebook didn't make anybody do that. That's why I'm going at them and asking them the question, like, why, and that's basically the gist of my beef with them, and not Facebook as a company. Now I know.
Go continue.
My bad. I know that other people have, asked, went to Facebook and requested that they do it for Nigeria and Kenya, but I guess that doesn't support their interest because that change hasn't been made. I haven't personally, but I know some other people who have, and some groups that I'm in.
Right. and you haven't. Deshaunus, how do you feel about this?
It's a lot, like you said, it's a lot, and I know we're gonna guide and have some discussion. So I'll kind of talk about this particular point. It's kind of the issue for me is it's kind of counterproductive, right? The same folks that are talking about agendas and being aware are losing that and fighting this battle with the people. So as opposed to Facebook, it's like, first of all, if you care a lot more about what's going on in the broader world and the nations, then you shouldn't be so concerned with what people put on their picture. It's a picture, right? Like, these aren't rallies, these aren't votes, these are pictures. And secondly, when you talk about Facebook providing the option, I kind of don't care what Facebook provides, because I can always upload a different picture. So you can go save a picture of a flag and upload that picture or whatever you want to. I mean, it's so many options, so I don't need the official Facebook technology to do the whole picture in the app. You know what I'm saying? So, but as it pertains to the issue, like, that's my issue, is that we're attacking people for quote unquote spreading love. So I agree with Chad, and I'm not a fan of pushing agendas, right? So you watch certain shows and you watch certain things on TV, and I don't like agendas being forced down our throats. Like, all of a sudden, like the rainbow one, I think, was the last one after the laws passed, and it was like, well, you see it on the White House, and I think, and it does feel like certain agendas are forced down your throat. But if that's what people buy into, I mean, like, certain artists are forced down my throat. But if you like it, you like it. Like, I can't tell people what to consume. So I agree with you on that part. But overall, like, the people aren't the enemy. I think we hold everyone to this extremely high standard when it's something we're passionate about. It's like with celebrities. Why don't all celebrities speak out? Well, a lot of these people that tagged put the Pray for Paris thing on there, they weren't like in depth. They're not these poli-sci majors. They're just people who seen lives were lost in the middle of a work day, and we're like, oh, that'd be cool to support them. Let me go about my business. And now they're made fun of and mocked just because they wanted to spread love. It don't cost them nothing to change their profile picture, but they now have to be conscious and choose and go and do research and find out about 80 other strategies just to simply show love. That's too much thinking.
Erica, how do you feel about it?
Well, I changed my profile picture. And usually, like, I don't usually do the whole change the profile picture. That's actually the first time that I've actually, like, done something like that. But it was because I really felt like, I reading the story, like, I felt bad. And I actually kind of connected it to over here. And I figured, like, because if something like that happened over here, which it could have easily been Radio City Music Hall.
It did,
Madison.
actually.
Where?
9/11. Yeah.
9/11.
I mean, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, it kind of reminded me of that, and I'm like, because that could have easily, like, it could have been, it happened again over here. It easily been Radio City, Madison Square Garden, and it could have been really close to home. And if it was over here, it would have definitely been everybody got American flag profile pictures or whatever.
And France did show support. France showed a lot of support during 9/11. Facebook wasn't popping in 2000, obviously at that point, and 9/11, but they did show support. So it wasn't like because this is the thing, and I'm going to get to Christian in a second. For some reason, Chad, and I feel like this is the issue that people are having. We are now turning this twisted empathy for France into a Black Lives Matter situation. I feel these two things are completely different situations. Chad, have you ever left the country?
No, I haven't.
Cool. Erica, have you ever left the country?
Yeah, like, but not I haven't been like I've been, to like Jamaica, ain't nothing.
Well, right, it's all
too crazy.
Deshaunus, let me finish. Deshaunus, have you ever left the country?
Quick Mexico trip, but other than that.
Yeah, Mexico.
You left.
Mexico.
Chris, have you ever left the country?
Yes, several times.
Perfect. So when you guys who have left the country, do they look at you as Black? Do they look at you as African? Do they look at you as American? What do you think they identify with you first when you open your mouth and you speak?
American.
Cool. Right. So if 9/11 happens and somebody from France says, oh, well, I shouldn't mourn 9/11 because they had slaves for 400 years. I shouldn't mourn for Americans' lives because they're doing this and they bombed that and they did this and they started wars and la la la. It's like there's no feeling. There's no empathetic for people as human beings. So first of all, we're making an assumption that no black people died during the terrorist threats, right? We're making that assumption because we're saying black lives don't matter. We're basically saying that we're assuming, this is going to be a key word of the night, assuming that no black lives were lost during Paris. And it is easy not to connect with people when you haven't visited their country, when you don't know anybody that's from there. You're looking at it like a TV show. These are actual people who are mourning like me and you. There are people who are Americans who visit there. I had friends, literally friends who I hung out with for, my wife's birthday, who had just left Paris 2 days before that Friday. Literally 2 days they came home. They could have been killed. I have friends who I went to school with who are currently living in Paris that could have been killed. They don't have anything to do with the government. They have nothing to do with bombing people or ISIS. They're not military workers. There are regular people who died, right? So I think it's kind of inhumane to tell people they cannot mourn just because other tragedies are happening. There's a tragedy that happens every minute. There's tragedies that are happening right now. I'm living in New York. Somebody's probably getting shot right now. Yeah. If I posted every issue or every news report, my Facebook wouldn't be my Facebook. It would be CNN. Basically. It would be Fox. And let me say what I'll get to Chris. We have to stop this thing of social media being the end-all, be-all for every emotion. We have to stop it. Right? Just because I don't post it does not mean I don't care about it. And just because I post about Paris does not mean I don't care about Nigeria. Does not mean I don't care about, hey, you don't know what I do. Because quite frankly, we really all don't know each other. I don't know your middle name. I don't know your brother's name. I don't know your birthday. I don't know none of that until Facebook tells me what your birthday is. Ironic how that's full circle. I don't know you. All you're doing is assuming because your friends in your circle talk the talk and don't walk the walk that everybody else is doing it. But that's not my circle. People that I know are actually out there in the field. They may not be Facebook posting, but they're mentoring people. They're in the army. They're in the armed forces. They're traveling back and forth to Paris. They're involved with things outside of just pointing fingers on Facebook, right? So we have to stop this narrative that just because somebody changes their Facebook picture, they're not in tune with the world. They may be more in tune than you are. So sometimes you could be spreading noise to change things, and sometimes it's just noise. Chris, how do you feel about it?
I think you connected to some great points that I want to speak on as well, because I think a lot of what we're talking about has to do with exposure. Right. That even if you don't get a chance to leave the country, I still think it's a powerful thing that a lot of Americans, and particularly black folks, we have to. I think that when we do that, we're able to understand that the problems that we're speaking about, the hell that we're catching as Americans, is connected to human suffering throughout.
It's universal.
It's universal. And I think it's a lesson that, a lot of folks look up to Malcolm X. I think it's an important lesson they get from the last couple of years of his life, is understanding that he was really about connecting what was happening to black Americans as a human rights thing, that it wasn't just some siphoned off elective sort of thing that you could just sort of dismiss, but it was connected to human struggles that were going on in India and South Africa and all over the world, that he actually wanted to bring the U.S. before the United Nations on human rights violations. And it's until we get to that understanding, then you're always going to see that indifference and ignorance where people are saying, oh, what's going on over there doesn't matter. And there's no sense of connection and human empathy. And I think another thing that really sort of stifles the situation also is that we've become too trite. That it becomes too much where our lives are reflected by how we live on social media. So whether or not I've changed my profile picture can tell you my whole view without you actually having to talk with me. There's too many people who use Facebook to just sort of figure out how folks are doing without actually speaking to them. And when we lose that human touch, that's when we go into so many assumptions. That's when we go into so much devaluing of human life, because the keyboard is replacing actual, genuine human interaction.
I just want to follow what you said on the fact of the universal and how, the fact is black people, brown people are being persecuted all over the world.
Absolutely.
All over the world, darker brown countries are being persecuted. You're not hearing news about third world dark, and actually a lot of the third world countries are the countries that are darker skinned. So it's not just over at America where, you know, it's Black Lives Matter. It's really all over the world. This whole like skin, this whole skin controversy of darker people versus lighter people. Yeah. It's a universal problem that we have to solve. Yeah. So it's not just over here.
So Chad, I want to bring up something that happened earlier. So in the debates about this, I want you. Can you see what I just posted just now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh wow.
So I saw this on Chad's Facebook. N-words on Facebook be like, Lord, what is the last line? I can't read it, Chad. Can you read that for me? What it is, post? Lord, they done what? What is that? I can't read. I can't read it. What is it?
They done tore up master of the land.
Cool. You posted this on Facebook, and you're pretty much saying this is how you look for those who change their Facebook profile pictures. Can you explain to me what is the logic behind that, please?
Okay. All right. Okay. So the logic behind it is that the thing about France is that when you're flying a flag, you know that you know you're not saying pray for the victims, or you're flying that country's flag. And me being of a darker hue, I know being a history major and studying history, I know that France has victimized a lot of African nations. They victimized Haiti. Haiti still has to pay them. A lot of African nations still have to pay them. They have to pay a tax because Haiti, if you don't know, Haiti is one of the first countries. They had an uprising slave revolt, and basically they defeated the French army. And ever since then, France has basically had an embargo on them, and they can't trade with other countries. They have all the resources are pretty much gone. So that's why Haiti's one of the poorest countries, and that's just getting to the root cause of everything. Just being conscious. When you fly flags, you have to be aware of like what's going on. So the logic behind it stems from a conversation I had with a few people who actually, I'm not going to call their name out, but they actually posted the flag as their profile pic. And, I had a conversation about them, asking them, do you understand why, something like this, why these terrorists or these people would feel so depressed or oppressed where they feel like they don't have any other option than to strap a bomb to their chest and,
So basically you're saying that folks that change their profile pictures to show respect for those that mourned who lived in France, which is why they're using the flag, it's synonymous with somebody wearing blackface because they changed their profile picture. So you're justifying it based upon the relations between France and Haiti to people who just died from the ISIS attacks. Is that what you're telling me?
France, Haiti, and Africa. Basically, I'm talking about the.
No, but brother, I'm asking you. Yes, we don't got a lot. I'm asking you a yes or no question. You saying those who are changing their profile pictures are related to blackface because they're showing empathy for France by using the flag for their profile. That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm trying to explain that point though. So.
I mean, but you did. You basically said that you had a conversation with somebody. You're explaining to people the history of France, as far as how they've unjustly treated Africans in Haiti. Right? You've broken down the tax thing. You've broken down the economic struggles. All these things. Right? However, we're not talking about that. We're talking about 130 victims and 85 others who were injured. Sorry, not 85. Over 300 people who were injured, critically injured, over an ISIS terrorist attack. You're trying to tell me that you can justify saying that comment for those who have nothing to do with either. I don't have anything to do with it. The people who died have nothing to do with it. This isn't the government. This isn't the military. These are innocent people. But we're calling people in blackface, and this is something I'm really big on not using the word coon. I'm really big on not using the whole blackface thing because I understand it, and to me it has a deeper meaning, right? I'm not gonna sit up here and call another black man Uncle Tom. It's really Sambo, but we're not gonna get into all that, right? But we're saying that a white person changes their Facebook picture to France, it's no problem. It's all right. But another brother, another sister that looks like you is a coon, is on blackface because they're showing empathy. So what does that make a Spanish person that changed their profile picture? What does that make an Asian American that changed their profile picture? So everybody's all in blackface because everybody's changing profile pictures. The last time I checked, it wasn't just black people changing their profile pictures. It was a large group of people. So
yeah, but I'm talking about the black ones though.
So just us. So we're just wrong. So we're just wrong, and nobody else is wrong for doing it. We're just wrong.
But I wanna
because we have African roots, and the country of France, the empire it was, the imperialism that it was, they capitalized and robbed Africa of all its resources. And it wasn't just France. It was a lot of other countries. They carved France up. That's why France is. I mean, that's why Africa is a poor nation now, because all of its resources were robbed by Great Britain and the Dutch and the French.
I'm about to go to Chris. I got a secret for you, Chad. And I know you may not know this or not, but there's Africans that live in France. There's black people that live in Spain. There's black people that live in Italy. So there's some people who actually were born and raised in Africa who moved to France, who are more closely connected to their roots than we would be as African Americans. I don't know if you knew that or not. I don't know if you know.
Oh, of course I know that.
Just like there's African Americans, there's African French, there's French. I mean, so I'm just letting you know that I know you ain't really. I don't know if you know that or not. I know you're a history major. But there are black Africans who live in France, who are possibly in those victims that were killed and injured. Chris, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that we're not fully focusing on the complexity of these symbols. Like when we look at the French flag, everything that Chad is saying is correct. When you're speaking about the history of France through colonialism and through slavery and oppression and all this, that France's hands are dirty in that regard as well. But at the same time, to make France a solely white nation robs the black Frenchmen and French women of their contribution to that country. Because when I think of France, I don't only think of those things which Chad is bringing up. I think of the Negritude movement. I think of all the black American veterans who stayed in France because they were getting treated better over there than they were getting treated in the U.S. I think of a lot of black folks who migrated up from Africa, migrated up from the Caribbean, and called France home, or francophone folks. And I essentially think of it in the same way that I think of it when I'm wearing the American flag. Or right now, I'm wearing a Davidson sweatshirt, my proud college, home of Steph Curry, but also home of Woodrow Wilson. So you got to understand how complex these histories are. So to just write it off completely as like, oh, the French flag only represents these things, isn't telling the whole story. You know?
And what I'll say is this is where it gets like a slippery slope between spreading knowledge and attacking people. Because like you said, Chad has some jewels that he's dropping. And this is where our delivery, Walter and I agree on this, is like, stay woke. And our delivery is always to attack and kind of compete with each other. I'm smarter than you, you don't know anything, and kind of make you look stupid, as opposed to saying, man, much love for Paris, but just in case you didn't know, this is why I wouldn't change my flag, or this is some history behind flying a flag. It's educational. It's similar to like telling a young man, watch what you say, watch what you throw up, watch what you wear, because you're not just flying yourself, you're flying for a lot of people. And it might bring up feelings for other people. But where it gets tricky is, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, because it's like, man, so now do you live and walk that talk every day? Because there are a lot of different things that you do to operate your day-to-day life that kind of have to oversee and overlook some things that happen on your own soil. It's funny, when I think of Chad, I've been knowing him since college. He's a big Spurs fan. Tony Parker, he's rooted for him. He's a French guy. Like, it's all these connections, the NBA and all these different, it's a lot of different things that you do. It's a lot of clothing or products that you buy, and a lot of people that you support that have done some crooked things, some racist things, some oppression. And we're not going to pick through your receipts in your life and say, well, you shouldn't have bought that, you shouldn't have done that, because you're not putting it on Facebook. It's like, no, like, we understand that's not your intention. And so understand people's intention. Like, look, man, you guys may or may not know this is some love, but I just want to drop these jewels. And if that's your plight, if that's what you want to do, that's all cool. And, people will eat that and be like, okay, I didn't understand that. But to attack people, it makes it personal. Like, you're calling me a coon or stupid, or saying that you are a level above me, and now we have more war, and you're not adding to, now you're taking away from.
It's elitism. It's elitism. Activism, it is.
Here's my thing. What does one have to do? I mean, I get the whole history behind everything. I get that. But at the same time, these are people that lost lives. Because at the same time, like Walter made a point before, you could easily have said 9/11. If that happened, if 9/11 happened, we could be like, oh, well, America made slaves, so really we should hate our own country and forever hate all white people and just forever hate everybody that ever had an African slave, and no matter what. But these is people that just died, innocent people that died. They have nothing to do with the colonialism and the government and the agenda. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody. It's a child over in France right now, like that might have had a parent that was there, now they're parentless. You know what I mean? Like I think we're taking it and we're having these battles, and I think we're overshadowing the fact that people are losing their lives, and it's really over something that's very petty. And if we don't stop, it's going to continue and it's going to get worse. So like,
absolutely, I think it's this almost elitism, to be honest with you. It's basically saying, and something kind of hit home when I made the post. I made a post on my Facebook and I said, not a lot of things bother me on social media, but the lack of empathy and sympathy for those that passed away. Chad, you come on the post and you say, and I want to make sure I don't want to misquote you. And again, this isn't an attack. I just want to just bring up those points. So you basically said that we are in slumber. Everyone who liked my status or comments are in slumber, and that don't be sheep or tools for propaganda and an agenda. And that's pretty much a blind assumption that any person who liked the status of supporting, of being empathetic and sympathy are not abreast of the issues as you may be. You're the only person on the post that knows everything about everything, so we should all listen to you. Then you would have backhand compliment me, saying I'm smart for not changing my picture because I think for myself, but yet your point was to make others think like you, right? So it's like you can't chat with me. It's just we don't really, I mean, you know me, but you don't know me. You know what I'm saying? You can't chat with me. So it's kind of like, why don't you just let people do them? Why don't you let people mourn how they mourn? Why do they have to follow your lead? Why are we sheep because we're not doing what you want to do? It almost sounds more like a cry for attention than actually something positive that people can like bite down on, that they can digest. So can you kind of just touch on a little bit? I know there's a lot of stuff, but why are we sheep? Why can't we do what we do? What's going on?
All right, the sheep comment stems from, you ever heard of the phrase mindless sheep? They just following. Basically, I felt like people were just following. A lot of people, not everybody. I know some people actually, cared about the lives that were lost. A lot of people did, but like, when you
said most of us were sheep. You said most.
Yeah. So like, because when you look at the situation, some people really feel those emotions, but some people were just doing it because it was trendy, because it was convenient, because Facebook gave me the option. You know what I'm saying? All I had to do was click a button, and then boom, I would have had that as my profile pic, because it was so easy for them to do that. Just like when the whole gay rights thing happened, people, they did it. It was trendy. A lot of people didn't even vote. A lot of those people didn't even vote for gay rights. But a lot of people that didn't even, like, I've seen some people that didn't even know what happened in France, but they had that as their profile pic. They were asking. So I use the term sheep because they were just following a trend.
Right. I don't want to cut you off. I just don't want to lose that point. You mentioned earlier about research. You mentioned earlier about standing on facts. And we all went to college. I think everybody here went to college. So we kind of know that you need to have a basis of reasoning behind your backing. What support or research do you have that most people just did it for a trend? What support do you have of that? What actual evidence can you provide other than an assumption?
Well, I mean, just speaking, I found a few people that didn't even know what was going on over there.
What's a few people? What's a few people?
I talked to a couple of people in the group, and there were like 3 or 4 people, maybe.
So you're basing the actions of thousands of people over the 2 or 3 people that you know.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily people I know. It's a group. It was a group on Facebook.
So 4 people was your test subject. So, and you know, I mean, I don't know how many science classes that you've had, but 4 is not a great, even marketing or even a focus group. 4 people is not a good test subject for thousands of people changing their profile picture. So I'm trying to get the logic of where you're coming up with this assumption that most people just did it to be a trend and they didn't care.
If I can bridge the gap a little bit here too, it's like so
if I can find
Well, let Chad follow and then Sean, you can follow up.
If I could find 4 people that don't know what happened, I could find 8. If I could find 8, I could find 16. I didn't take a lot of time with it. You know, I wasn't going on doing a survey, but just from a simple ask of a question, 4 people changed their profile and didn't know what was going on. So I mean, that's a small sample size, but I mean, if it's 4, it's a lot more, because if it's 4 million people that updated their profile to that pic, I'm pretty sure out of that 4 million, it's probably like 100,000 people.
Hey, how can you guarantee that though? Hold, Erica. Hey, Deshaunus. So if a cop happens to find 4 guys walking down the street,
he can find 8.
Hold up, and they happen to have hold up, and they happen to have dope on them. Just those 4 guys. I can find 8 more guys like that. I can find 16 more guys. I can find 200 more. So basically, I think that's called a generalization. Am I off? So I think you're generalizing off of a small survey of people and then saying that those few people that you just said represent the majority of people that change their profile pictures. We're going to touch back on that. Deshaunus, what's your points, man?
See, and this is part of like just going in too deep. You know what I'm saying? Like Chad makes the point of being like a blind sheep. And that's a great point. And see, the same point that he makes about that, where people are just kind of going with the movement. And that happens in a lot of things that are important. People vote with movements. People make real life decisions kind of blind. And that's the great point that Chad has. But then it goes too far with the details, because once the devil's in the details, right? And it's like, well, for real, it is, because now we're talking about, well, okay, so what are you using an example for? Changing the profile picture. America may drum up support, but trust me, they're not deciding whether or not to go to war or invade based on the profile pictures. So don't attack the people doing the profile picture. Attack the local folks that are making the decisions. Because I understand the point you're doing. America's doing it. They're drumming up support. They're building the support. So when they do this next move, politically, it doesn't look as bad. We get that.
Exactly.
But look how you chose the battle. You chose the battle with local folks who are day to day doing their thing. It's like, man, that's a crazy thing. What happened? I'm gonna say a prayer for those people. Let me show support for those people that lost lives, not the presidential campaign, not all of that. So that's where the point is lost, because you people and not Facebook, not America. Do your rants and post them towards someone else, but when you attack folks that are just kind-hearted or whatever they want to do, even if they don't know everything that go on, it doesn't cost them anything to be empathetic, and it shouldn't cost you this time to understand their empathy.
But I'm going to go to Erica and I'm going to go to Chris. The sad part about this is that it's a divide and conquer tactic. Mm-hmm. And I feel that, and it's not just Chad. I'm not picking on Chad because Chad isn't the only person that had this view. He's definitely not the only person on Facebook I saw this happen to. He just happens to be representing it here. The issue I have is that it's a divide and conquer, and I feel like sometimes we hurt ourselves more than others do. And I think when you mock people and when you say people are sheep and you generalize, you are doing more of a disservice, because the folks that are dying in Nigeria, you're not honoring them by doing that. You're not honoring people that are dying in Beirut by doing that. You're not honoring any of them. They're not saying yay, yay, go. Why are they changing the Facebook flag? They have other issues they're worried about besides a profile picture. So that's one thing. So we have to really be careful with this, because you don't know what people know. And just like you found 4 people that didn't know what it was, I found 4 people who have family members in Paris. I know 4 people who live in Paris. I know 4 people who traveled to Paris. I know 4 people who were affected. Serge in our group I think his uncle worked at a shop that was right by the place where the suicide bombing was. So we got to be really careful with how we pinpoint people, because they may have been to Paris. They may have traveled there. They may have connected with the people. And it's easy for us to be disconnected when we haven't had that connection with the actual people. Erica, how do you feel about it?
I mean, like I said before, I changed my profile picture. I'm not a sheep. I'm not a coon. I'm not I'm just saying.
Erica was hard. Like, hey.
I know sheep.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
You wasn't one of the 4 people. You wasn't one of the 4 people.
I wasn't one of the 4, but I mean, at the same time, just like you found 4 people that didn't know what was going on, I'm sure you could have found, like you said, 4 more people that did. Like, I knew what was going on. I changed my picture, but I did it because I genuinely felt bad, and it was nothing that I could do but change my picture. So I was like, you know what? In support of them, I'm gonna change my picture because I know if it happened over here, we see a bunch of American flags, guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like, and we're not gonna be screaming, "Oh, but America made us slaves," and so this is what America get. It's like, come on, man. Innocent people just lost their lives, man.
Some people would have that approach though.
Yeah. I agree.
And they will be wrong.
I wouldn't say that they're wrong. I wouldn't say that they're wrong. I mean, you got to look at the cause and effect of everything. I mean, stuff just don't happen. These terrorists ain't just mad because they religious fanatics like the media wants y'all to believe. There's stuff going on where they've been done wrong, and they feel a certain type of way about it. If somebody took your land or killed your family, just because they're over there just dropping bombs in Syria now, it's going to be, they're creating new terrorists.
Chad, we understand that, my brother, and even on the comments, I told you that I agree with you that there's other tragedies going on in the world. I told you I agree with you. I told you I agree with you that the media isn't showing us everything and that they can manipulate things. I completely understand it. I didn't change my profile picture mainly because it was my birthday weekend and I just didn't go on Facebook to change my profile picture or whatever it was. but I mean, it was my birthday was Saturday, so I wasn't into the thick of things until I had the time to rest and then see what was going on. So that's why. But to assume somebody else could say, hey, Walter didn't change his profile picture, so he doesn't care. And then I change my profile picture, then you say, well, he must not care, he's just being trendy because it's an option. And then somebody else says, oh, well, he didn't like it, he changed it. And somebody else says, so it's like all these assumptions are being made, and we're doing a disservice pointing fingers at us when the problem isn't us. And your delivery is making people feel ashamed for showing emotion. So you're not helping them. You're hurting them. If they're going to get us later, you're getting us now. Chris, how you feel? Let me get. I saw Chris been chilling in the back. He's listening to Biggie. Chris, I'm playing. Chris, how you feel about this, man?
It's all good, man. Okay, I think this is a kind of topic I need to listen to some Immortal Technique or something like that.
But Talib, the most death.
Some Talib or somebody, get my conscience on. But nah, I really think
butterfly.
Yeah, we gotta go upstream though, man. I think it has to be about education. You got too many folks just bashing each other with keyboards. Too many folks just coming at each other's necks with limited perspectives. Like I keep saying, the word of the day for me with all this is complexity. Because if it just becomes like a good guy versus bad guy thing, and we don't understand the gray of all the situation, then we're just gonna repeat the same mistakes that have happened historically over and over again. As a native New Yorker, I'm very afraid for our world right now because I'm hearing so much of that same rhetoric that was drummed up after 9/11 is happening right now, where folks are so much about war and so much about getting them back, and they're gonna pay for it, but we're not thinking about the collateral damage. We're not thinking about the thousands, if not millions of people who are being misplaced, who are being killed as a result of all this bloodshed, and there's no sort of reprieve for it. It seems like it's just war that's going to beget more war. That ISIS didn't just create themselves. These are probably the little kids that saw Al Qaeda like 10 years ago. And I think more and more we're allowing ourselves to just become just bloodthirsty. We're not understanding the root of it all. So if we're not talking about the root and we're not really trying to go upstream with it, really trying to fix things on a real systemic level, then we're wasting time. We're attacking people and we're wasting our own time.
Absolutely. And I mean, the thing is, and Chad, you said one of the posts, you said, and I think you probably said in jest, you said half the people probably don't even know the French Prime Minister, but yet they're changing their profile pictures to flags. Right?
Yeah.
You have a picture of the Nigerian flag on your profile picture.
Yes.
Can you tell me the Prime Minister of Nigeria?
Yeah, I can. I know his name.
Sure. Oh, tell me the president. Tell me the president. Sorry.
Yeah, the president of Nigeria.
Google fingers.
No, I'm not Googling.
No, Chad, tell me, the president of Nigeria. You said do your research. You said people should be reviewing. They should have a French history test to post up a flag that shows empathy and emotion. So you tell me, what is it?
They just changed the prime minister, but it was Jonathan Goodluck. They got a new guy.
Who's the current president?
Google fingers.
No, I'm not.
so cool.
No. I mean, your profile picture right now is of the Nigerian flag, and I can give you time to Google a little bit, but we can just cut to this. This is what currently your Facebook profile looks like.
Yo, how are you doing that? That's
so I'm nice. I'm nice. So I've given you about 10 seconds to Google it. So who is the president of Nigeria? And if you don't know, why did you change your profile picture without knowing that first?
I actually do know his name. I'm trying to think. I'm trying
to think.
His name is.
I can't see you anymore, Chad. I can't see you anymore. The camera went out. I can't see you.
His name is.
Chad, I can't see you anymore. I promise you, I didn't do anything. I can't see your face anymore.
And why
are you hiding your videos so you can look down at the keyboard? No wait. I think Alex Trebek is French. Don't do that.
He is.
I don't know. You tell me. You said you're the history buff.
I mean,
research.
And if I could give an example, it's like kind of like a microcosm. It's a perfect example for this situation.
No, it's like I do know the French. I'm trying to think of dude's name.
Man, like, it's 3 minutes. I can't. On to the next one.
Okay, it's I can pronounce this Muhammadu.
Muhammad.
But I don't know. I'm gonna say
Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari. All right. I want to help you out a little bit. No, and I knew this before, but I posted a French picture, so I don't know anything else about anybody else. Deshaun is talk to me. What's going on?
So like Walt said, man. I mean, we didn't call Chad here to just bash him over the head. We did a little bit. The Chad talk, but no, seriously. And this is a perfect example. I don't want to get too far off topic, but Chad remembered this and he can comment on this. So maybe like last year sometime, we're Facebook friends, and Chad made a derogatory comment like all NAACP, the whole whatever, NAACP as a whole is something, I forget the exact statement, I don't want to misquote him, but it was very negative. And
I said that the NAACP today, and what I think it was 2014.
Yeah.
That I was saying that organization basically
it's like a joke or just.
Yeah, like a joke in 2014. That's basically because.
Wait, hold on, and I'm gonna give you time to rebuttal. And so he has he went on the history of the NAACP and he talked about all these great points as to why he felt like they fell short of the expectation the black community had for them. But what I told him was based on that generalization, the family that I have that have been serving in that NAACP as presidents of Sacramento chapter, California chapter, Oakland chapter, like that's been putting in work, like aunts, grandmas, aunties, like you just pretty much said my family was a joke. And we had to have a sidebar. I'm like, no, I'm not getting into you about the details of the national NAACP. I'm saying you had us all under one umbrella. Because I clarified, I'm like, Chad, I'm like, you don't really mean what you said. I'm like, specify. He's like, no, all in. And I'm like, okay, well, let's be specific because these are the things that's been going on in my family for the last X amount of years. And so you kind of talking about my people. You know what I'm saying? So that's a prime example of what Walter's talking about when he's saying you are looking from your area, you broadcasting this. But Facebook is wide, our network is wider and wider, and we have to remember, like, you're touching individual lives. And I was like, no, that's not what it is here. Not here, and not what my people have done. And so that's another prime example of how this situation kind of played out different, the same way over a different situation.
And let me just back up and chat. And why I put you on the spot, it wasn't to like embarrass you. It was just saying that I don't have a problem with you changing your profile picture for the Nigerian flag. I have no problem with it. I think that is probably the best way that you've so far shown an alternative, right? And I get that. The only issue I had with it was that you're telling other people to know the research and the prime minister and everything else about France before they do a picture, but yet you didn't do that and you showed support. And my whole thing is, why do we need to take a history test or a pop quiz to just show a flag for 2 or 3 days? It's gonna come down. I could right now change my profile picture to France, the French flag, and post an article about what happened in Nigeria and post an article about what happened in Beirut. I'm still bringing awareness my way, right? So that's my point. If you're going to be mad at someone, be mad at Facebook for making the option. But this is the thing that people aren't doing, and it's not you, but all the stay woke folks. The issue is these stay woke people are saying the major corporations are behind the agenda, and Walmart and Target meet the Black Friday, not shop there. They're all behind the agenda. But Facebook as a platform benefits off of these corporations, so therefore Facebook will be part of the agenda. But yet none of the stay woke people are boycotting Facebook. You use a platform that is being funded by corporations. So if you really want to lead, why don't you boycott Facebook until they offer options to change for the Nigerian flag, to change for the Haitian flag? But we're not doing that, right? Because it's easy to do selectivism, I think it's the word for it, is to point what everybody else isn't doing, but not look at ourselves, right? And look at what we can do. Use your power to say, you know what? Talk to those 4 people and find 8 more if you can find 4, and find 16 more, find 24 more. Get together and say, you know what? We're going to ban Facebook until they offer options that shows love for everybody. But until you do that, all you're doing is bringing awareness with no solution, with no plan, and there's no action behind your words. You're just penalizing people who are doing actions, but you're not actually telling people anything. If you're going to lead me to a solution. Create a strategy. Do something else besides just bringing awareness. Hey, your house is on fire. I'm not going to put it out for you. I'm not going to call 911. I'm going to tell you that your house is on fire, and there you go, and I'm going to walk away. But I told you your house was on fire. You're not helping me out of the house. You didn't call 911. You're just making fun of me because my house is on fire.
And you not woke because you was asleep while the whole house burned down.
Yeah, I'm woke. I got a Red Bull. I'm woke. While I'm woke, tell me the solution. If all you're gonna do is just make noise, I'm gonna still be lost because you're only giving me half of the story. Oh, it's an agenda. It's propaganda. Don't be sheep. I'm out. And I'm like, okay, can you tell me what the agenda is? Can you what's on the agenda? So Chad, how do you feel? Man, it's like you making noise, but what's the solution, my brother? What is the alternative?
And any information, knowing is half the battle. Like if you don't know what you're getting into, I mean, how do you have a solution? So knowing is half in the battle. Educating people, letting them know like why the situation is what it is. That's half the battle. If you don't know, then you don't know. I mean,
so that'll be no. That'll be no. You're right. That'll be no. So what's the solution?
Well, basically, I mean, I'm just letting people know. Like that's
no. I get that. No, Chad. Oh, I get that. You let us know. We're all aware. You're Paul Revere, right? You told us. The British are coming, right? The British are coming, right? You told us that. Also, Black man was with him too, by the way. He wasn't by himself. But so the British are coming. You told us the noise. Okay, so now what is the solution, my brother, to fight this agenda, to stop the propaganda, for us not to be sheep? What else we got to do after knowing? What's up?
What we have to do as a people is support our own causes, like Black people in Nigeria, Kenya. Like instead of just everybody putting the France flag up, well, I mean, why we can't just go to a website, Google Pictures or whatever, and get a photo, you know, like I did of the Nigerian flag and put that up. It's because Facebook made it so convenient for you to click that button, and you know you don't really care. People don't really care. So they just click that button. It's just that easy. But
have you ever seen Catfish? Have you ever seen Catfish? It's easy to post any picture, fam. It's probably easier to post a picture than to do the filter stuff. If you ain't got 4G.
I have a question, but can we care can we care about what's happening in Nigeria and France at the same time?
I would think so.
But if you can care about both, then why you don't have a Nigerian profile? You had a France profile picture, but you don't have a Nigerian one. So
yeah, because
that shows me that you care more about France, or you're supporting that agenda, or using that vehicle they provided you with to support France, but you're not supporting Nigeria. You're not supporting Kenya. You're not supporting Beirut. You're not supporting Syria.
Well, hold on, guy. Chris, talk to me.
I don't think it's really fair to hold people as guilty for being swept up in the emotion of the day. Like, I mean, obviously, the media portrayed what happened in France immediately. Like, people did not know about. I had friends of mine who I was correcting over the weekend because they were posting about Kenya as if that had just happened. I said, no, that had happened in the spring. And I think we can't really fault folks for the information that they have. Not everyone's going to be as knowledgeable about the affairs of the world, and you have to meet people where they are. I think if you're really interested in educating people, if you're really interested in like waking them up to the realities of the day. You can't go into it with an arrogance. You can't go into it with the whole sense of like, you're ignorant, look at you just being a sheep. They're not going to listen to you. If anything, they're just going to close off even more so. I think you have to really be willing to meet folks where they are.
And I'm getting to the Sean to ask him a question too, because outside of working in the music industry, I teach a weekly college course every Thursday night. I teach 2 on international business, and I teach 1 on entertainment and media. I've done it for the past 5 years. I have students from Haiti. I have students from Turkey. I have students from Japan. I have students from Brooklyn. I have students from everywhere, right? And so part of my job is to educate them, right? Part of my job is to say, this is how you run a business, this is how you move, this is how you network, right? But the other part of it is saying, okay, well, instead of doing that, try this, or try that, or here's something to research and get back to me. Let's work on this project together. So as a teacher, I can't just halfway get them there, right? I have to be able to give them, okay, this is what you know, and now this is how you use that. But if all I'm doing is saying, man, I got my degree, I'm in here teaching y'all. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all don't know this. And then listen to me because I know it. If I'm giving them that delivery, they're not going to communicate with me. Number one, because everybody communicates differently. So you can't have the same message for every single person. I don't have children. People have children. They know that. If you have students, everybody doesn't learn the same way.
Right.
So, but if I mock them for not knowing, because I'm again assuming they don't know, I'm saying I'm not knowing something, and then try to school them, they're not going to be receptive. And when I do school them in the way that I'm going to do it, I'm also going to offer strategies and solutions to help them use that information. I think it's irresponsible to say, here's a gun, I'm not going to show you how to use it, I'm not going to show you the safety button, I'm not going to show you not to shoot it at yourself, I'm just going to just give you a gun and say, here you go, peace out. I'm going to arm you with knowledge, but I'm not going to show you how to use it as a weapon. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where my issue comes from you. That I'm not saying that what you're saying I'm not saying what your intent is harmful. I'm saying the delivery of that is harmful. That's what I'm saying. Somebody get the baby. They need some food. But yeah. So that's what we're saying. Do you understand the difference between educating people and how people may perceive you mocking them?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I understand that. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, is that you in the background?
That's Chad.
Yeah, that's my background.
Young life mad that we getting that pop.
Right, exactly. You're trying to save pops. So that's all we're saying. I'm not saying don't educate people, but I think a lot of time was spent on calling people coons and calling people blackface and calling them sheep. And I feel that same time could have been spent on just posting the information. You're saying, listen, okay, this week we know you're going to be on the French flag thing. We know that. And then next week, let's do a Nigerian thing. The next week, let's do a Kenyan thing. So every week, let's do something. Don't just say, oh, because Tuesday you have a French flag. You don't know anything. You don't care about anybody but yourself. French flags are more important. La, 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 la. You're an agenda. La, la, la. Just say, okay, let this week ride out. And next week, let's do the Nigerian thing. Next week, let's do the Beirut thing. Next week, let's do the Japanese. You know what I'm saying? That's all that we're saying. Offer the alternative, not just the finger pointing.
Don't you worry, though, that becomes very trite, though? I mean, because I remember back when the whole profile pic was just, like, making it all black because of everything that was going on with Trayvon Martin and everything like that.
Exactly.
And I remember I had my picture all black, and I had a moment when I said, my God, like, when am I supposed to change this to another picture? Like, if I just want to have a happy picture of my wife and I, that feels funny styles. Like, am I no longer part of the movement? Exactly. So I feel you got to have some sort of rotation. But if I'm like, all right, now we're moving on from France, that feels kind of insincere.
Well, no, and I think, and Chris, to your point, I think so too. I mean, part of the reason why I didn't change my profile picture, because most of my profile timeline stuff are 3 things: me working in the music industry, me and my wife, or some about music. You know what I'm saying? Or promoting the channel. You don't see a lot of memes and stuff on my. That's just my personal taste. Right? That's what I don't do. I'm not judging anybody else, but that's what I do because I don't want to have to pick and choose certain issues, right? So I get that, but I'm not gonna judge somebody else for doing that because we all show our support in different ways. Social media is not the end all be all of my life. It should be for everybody else. So you can't judge me. You can't know me as a person for social media, and you can't judge me off of it either. I may post one thing about France and don't even post anything else because I was on Facebook that whole week. I may make my picture black and not update it because I just haven't been on for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just say because somebody's up on social media, that's the extent of their knowledge and of who they are. These are all blind assumptions because You don't know these people. You know what they look like. You know what they had to eat for dinner. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're volunteering. You don't know if they're donating to communities, being mentors, teaching people. You have no idea. You're assuming people are being trendy because of your own perceived notions of whatever it is people that you talk to. That's not the world. Go ahead, Erica.
The meme that got me was the Kermit one that said everybody arguing over who to pray for, and half of y'all don't even pray. So everybody changing y'all profile pic, talking about prayers and everything. Did y'all really get down on your knees or whatever you do and pray about it and say something? Because like, you know what I'm saying? Just because I didn't change my profile pic to Nigeria don't mean I didn't actually pray for Nigeria and everything else that's going in the world.
True story.
You know what I mean? Like, so
if you didn't post it, it can't be true. Remember?
Right,
it can't be true.
Never happened.
If it's on a me with numbers, it must be great. It must be true.
To rebuttal that, like,
please, brother.
What are you showing? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you say I do all this stuff, like I prayed for Nigeria, I prayed for Kenya, but you have the French flag up, like, what are you showing the world? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to be more vigilant and get behind, get behind our people and our causes as black people. Like, you know.
And that's where I disagree.
Hold on, but Chad, I think you missed it, Chad. There are black people that live in Paris, man.
But that's what I'm saying. But any time something happens in a nation, a dark nation, it basically gets swept under the rug. Like the whole world doesn't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like
the media doesn't care. The world cares.
If it's a natural disaster in Africa, and like the same thing happened when the tsunami hit. When the tsunami hit the Philippines, it hit Africa. It hit the coast of Africa, and a lot of people in Africa died. But then I see the Red Cross commercial. All the funds donate to the Philippines. Nothing for Africa. That's what I'm trying to make people aware that people in Africa, like black people in Africa, their lives matter too.
But here's the problem though. It's like you're trying to be a manager and delegate without any following, right? Because you're like, well, what does that do for them? And people are like, well, what are you doing for? Like, you live in America, fam. Like, you eat and you live and breathe and work in America. And then people want to like put, Africa and Africans on this pedestal. Like, we just automatically assume that you're righteous or that's the motherland. But it's like, if that's the case, like, what if African people dominated your Facebook and they just got at you every day, man? You in America, like. You in America being you, like you left here and you don't have no love for what's going on over here in our struggle, but they're not doing that. Like, that's not really helping. So you're not mobilizing. So when you say, well, you're not doing this and you're not doing that, but you don't have a following and you're not out there doing it, then it's just kind of pointing fingers just to be pointing fingers.
I can say I'm mentoring somebody that's from France. Which would be true. I'm mentoring two people from Haiti. That could be true. I could say I'm mentoring them and I'm teaching them, what are you doing? Oh, you're not doing what I'm doing? Okay, well then you don't care. All you care about is impressing your 2,000 Facebook friends and telling them to be woke. That is not the world. Your Facebook friends are not the world. Like, the world is outside. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, show us what you're doing outside. Like, if you're trying to bring awareness outside. Like, donate to people over there. Show us the receipts of what you're doing. Like, show us what you're doing. Don't just say what I'm doing and I'm cooning and I'm blackface. Like, because you're dissing me. You may not be calling my name, and I didn't post a picture, I'm just saying, but the people who you're doing this to, you may not be calling a name, but you're saying anybody who changed their picture looks like they're in blackface about other masses' land. Without taking into consideration that there are some people who are African, from Africa, I mean really born in Africa, who are living in France that may have been killed a week ago. So you're telling half the story. Some of us know the history already. We may know the history just as well as you, maybe even more. But you're assuming that we don't, for whatever reason, because you met 4 people who had no idea what they were doing. I would tell you, my best advice for you is to delete those 4 people, right? Don't hang with them. Get a new circle. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. Text me. Let me be in your circle. Have some more educated brothers. Chris is educated. He's my frat. Deshaun is educated. Erica knows what's going on. Have us in the circle, man. Don't hang around.
If I can say one more thing, Walt. Here's what I wanted to say a couple minutes ago, too. It's kind of scary. It's like, for you to question people that put the picture, the flag of France up, that's fine. But think about the message you're sending if you don't question the people that put up the Nigerian flag. Like you're saying, it's okay to follow me without knowledge, but not anybody else. Because I'm not going to question you because you're doing what I'm doing, so that's fine, but I'm going to question you because you're doing something different. That's a slippery slope to get into if you're not questioning folks who do the same things you do, because you're not really out there to spread knowledge. You're out there to spread your knowledge and your agenda, and you becoming like the people that you're knocking. You just don't have the same platform.
And you can't tell me the president of Nigeria, and you got the profile. You told people to know who the prime minister is. You don't know the president. I mean, I don't know what's going on, Chad. Talk to me.
I told you the first name.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I don't know.
If I give you the first, I gave you the first name. I mean,
you look. What's the girl's name who lost that UFC fight last week?
Oh, not Ronda.
You look like you. That's what you look like right now. That right before that kick. That's what you look like, man. Get up, man, get up. Erica, how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
Man, like I'll say this, man. Like at the end of the day, we're all sitting here arguing about Facebook profile pictures from our comfy homes and nice warm houses on our smartphones, Macs, iPads, YouTube, Beats headphones. I'm pretty sure people in Nigeria, France, not sitting on Facebook right now saying, "Oh snap, yo, they how many people change their profile pic? Oh man. Oh, look how the love they getting." And I'm sure pretty people in Africa not sitting there saying tag, like, nobody's showing no love to us on Facebook. Like, where's the love at? I'm pretty sure that they're not doing that. We're essentially in a war zone arguing about what dead body to look at flying over us and which one is important. And, like, that's not the point, man. The honest point is really we need to spread love, because at the end of the day, like, it's really getting really bad out here. And it can easily be over here, and we could be in a war zone. It can be just crazy, and our lives could turn upside down. Like, we about to have Thanksgiving, and it's going to be all this food, and you know what I mean? Like, we're really blessed and privileged over here, and I think we need to understand that and just spread love, no matter whether you black, white, short, tall, because this hating and this going tat for tat, eye for eye, is going to destroy us as a human race. So, like, that's what I think we need to really think on.
And I'm gonna get to Chris in a second. One of the things that really touched me, and this was last week. I had a friend who I went to grad school with. She's Eritrean, right? So, African, Eritrean. Then she was in Sweden, and now she lives in Paris. So she's an African woman. And she's been living in Paris for the past couple of years, just, a better life, because she was being discriminated against in Sweden, so she wanted to come to Paris for a better life. And she wished me a happy birthday right after the Paris attacks. And I was talking to her, and I was like, well, I'm glad, thank you so much. I'm glad, are you okay? Everything all right? And she was like, yeah, I'm okay, but it's just scary, and she's just trying to pray that they don't have to face that again. Right? This is somebody that I know, who I know she has a family, know she's working hard, she's there by herself trying to make a way out of it. She's African, you know what I'm saying? And she's scared. And so when we talk about France and the history and the culture, we're missing over people who live there to have nothing to do with all that. People are just there for a better life. Like, people who are here, African people who come here for a better life, we go there. It's a global universe. So we're all human beings at the end of the day. So we can't just section off, say, oh, the chickens came home to roost because France did this and did that. Not everybody there was a part of that, man. Like, I'm American. I wasn't bombing people in Iran and Afghanistan, and I'm an American citizen. So if I die and somebody shoots me tomorrow, it's okay. Because America bombed somebody else and I'm an American. So you can't value me as a person. And I feel like when you say to somebody else, they can say that to us. And I feel that's unfair. I feel that's irresponsible. And I feel that's honestly, it's reckless. And
that's what happens, though.
But it shouldn't. It should, because
it shouldn't. But that's the reality of the situation. When 9/11 happened, I'm pretty sure people in other countries looked at 9/11 and was like, "Okay, that's America. That's what they get." You know what I'm saying?
France showed support. France showed support. They were one of the biggest supporters.
The French government didn't show support. The people of France showed support. The government was upset with France. They even changed the name of the food in the cafeteria to Freedom Fries instead of French fries because they were mad at the French.
Yeah, but
the French government didn't support America.
That happened a couple of years after because of Iraq. That wasn't
exactly.
Right.
That wasn't 9/11. That was the war on terror.
That was the why do you think we had a war on terrorism?
But that wasn't 9/11.
Yeah,
It's the same. The
No,
same
it's
thing
not
is happening
the
right
same
now.
Chad.
The,
Okay,
the same thing is happening right now.
But
the same thing.
No, listen. 9/11, innocent victims were killed, right? In New York City, right? That's one incident. Yes, those instances led up to the war on terror, right? The French were upset based on the war on terror. They were not sympathetic to people who died at 9/11. So we're talking about two different things. What happened on November 13th in Paris were innocent people. It wasn't the government that got killed. It wasn't the military people. It were innocent people who were killed. So you can relate that more to 9/11 than you can on the war on terror. It's two different things. Yeah, there were terrorist attacks. Like we had terrorist attacks.
The same thing is happening right now. Well, after 9/11 happened, America destroyed a whole entire country that had nothing to do with it. The French are doing the same thing right now to Syria. They don't even know if those terrorists were from Syria, but they're dropping bombs in Syria right now, and guess who's getting killed? It ain't no Syrian soldiers, it's the people in Syria.
Chad, okay, I'm getting to the Shaunas. Chad, are you American?
Yes.
Chad, I'm sorry, Chris, are you American?
Yes.
Deshauna, are you American?
99% of the time.
Erica, are you American?
Yes, I am.
I'm American too. And I'm sure that none of us here on this conference call made any plans to bomb anybody, but we happen to be American. So if one of us dies, you know, way years from now or whatever, we shouldn't be held accountable for our government bombing people without us. You never know. Some of us could have voted for that to happen. Some of us couldn't have voted for that to happen. Some people voted for Bush. We didn't vote for Bush. We voted for Obama. Some people didn't vote for Obama. But as American people, we're still individual people. Government is separate from just the people. So we can't hold sometimes the people accountable for what their government does. Just like somebody shouldn't hold us accountable for the U.S. government, somebody shouldn't hold the French people who died responsible for the French government. So we're talking about two different platforms. You're saying French as if every person walking in France was involved.
I'm not holding the French people responsible for what happened.
You're saying the French. You said the French.
I'm not holding the French people responsible for what their government did or what happened. I'm saying the same thing is happening right now. They're holding Syrian people. They're holding them responsible for what's going on.
Who are they? Who are they, Chad?
The French government is holding the Syrian people responsible for what's happening. That's why they're bombing Syria right now.
So your issue with the French government?
It's pictures on the news right now of dead Syrian kids in the street right now because of bombs.
And it's terrible. It's literally.
But where's their flag though? Where's their flag?
But Chad, you're talking about.
Where's their support? Why are we not praying for that?
I feel that, Chad, you're reducing these conflicts and making them very, very simplistic.
Yeah.
Like what's happening in Syria, you know, there's been a civil war there since 2012, and a lot of those folks who are fighting against Bashar Assad end up becoming ISIS, right? So and I think ISIS is now being referred to as Daesh, and a lot of those places that are being bombed in Syria right now are actually strongholds for Daesh. I can't think of one war or one conflict that has happened in human history where collateral damage vis-a-vis innocent people haven't paid the consequence of it. Exactly. I can't think of one example. That's always happened. I'm not saying that's okay. I'm not saying it should even be permissible. I think one thing that I will say that you said that I will agree with to this degree of it, though, is when you said the same thing is happening. I'm afraid that what's happened last week is going to give the French folks the same sort of license that Americans took when we really overstepped with the war on terror.
Absolutely.
It's happening with France, but we can't conflate that to say like we shouldn't feel bad for French people, even though French people might not be responsible for their government. They should still hold their governments accountable in the same way Americans should hold our governments accountable. Exactly. But we can't conflate these things. I think it's a very dangerous reduction you're doing, man.
That's why I say it's reckless because but Chad, it's not what you're saying is what you're not saying, because you're telling people not to put up the flags. The people are putting up the flags not for the French government, for the victims in Paris. There's people who live in Paris who died who aren't even French. They live there. That's what they're doing. That's the intent. They're not posting pictures of people from the French government on their profile pictures. They're posting people who died. You're trying to connect two different things that aren't connectable. Just like you can't connect us to the government.
Now, if I had to to kind of advocate and be with Chad here. When you talk about if you were to post pray for Paris or what happened in Paris, that kind of go towards what happened. If
exactly.
you put a profile picture up of the flag, and now today I'm Syrian and they're bombing me, what if I mistake your picture of a flag as support for what they're doing currently in my country?
Exactly.
If your flag doesn't say pray for Paris and it's just the flag, what if I were to misinterpret that and say, okay, well, I understand a week ago you were supporting those victims, but right now you're currently kind of supporting their movements because the flag is a representation of the government as well, not just the victims, as opposed to having a picture of saying pray for Paris doesn't support the government. The flag is a government, part of the government entity.
Well, you know what Deshaun would say? You know what I would say to Deshaun is?
Yeah.
I would say, if you want to know how people feel,
ask them.
If you want to know how people know, listen, before making a generalization, before making a blind assumption, you have to ask them. And if the people are saying, no, we're supporting the victims, not the French government, then take them for that. Don't then say, oh, well, no, I asked you, but you're still sheep, but you're still an agenda, but you're still tool, propaganda. No, if people are telling you what they're doing, and you after you've asked them, you didn't judge them, you have to ask them first, and they tell you what it is, then that's what it is. But you can't tell people what they don't know if you haven't spoken to them or know them. You're just saying, I talked to 4 people, they didn't know, so I'm going to post every other day that you're coons, that you're blackface, that is agenda, that is propaganda, like that doesn't help anything. You're just assuming people are doing something because that's what your assumptions are, not what they said, not what they said.
Syrian people, they're not asking those people they bombing, are you a terrorist? They just like I don't understand the war on terrorism, because that's like saying there's a war on Crips and Bloods. Crips and Bloods have no country. They don't have a military. You're just gonna go to Compton and drop bombs and kill everybody because that's where Crips and Bloods are mainly. You know what I'm saying? It's innocent people. You can't have a war on terrorism. That's what I'm trying to say. And then these flags. You're flying the flag. You're not saying pray for France or anything like that, like the China said. You're just posting that flag, and they can't ask you that question. They don't speak your language. They just see it as support for you're supporting their demise.
I'm gonna get to Erica. I'm sorry, Chris. I want to get to Erica, but it's almost sound like saying I went to somebody's funeral and you dropped flowers and you left a card, but you didn't care enough to buy flowers. And the person with flowers saying, I didn't care enough to buy a car. It's like you're telling people they're wrong for how they show love versus trying to understand where they're coming from. Erica, how do we feel about what Chad said?
Listen, at the end of the day, just because I changed my profile pic don't mean that I don't care about other things that's going on as well. Just because I don't post or do post pray for Paris don't mean I'm not actually praying for Paris, which I think actually at the end of the day, that's what really matters. It matters if you're actually doing something beyond just changing a profile pic.
You know what y'all sound like though? You know what y'all? I'm gonna make this real personal.
Please.
You know what y'all sound like with the flag flying or the French flag? You know you're looking like when they took the Confederate flag down here in South Carolina. The people that was posting that flag up saying tradition, not prejudice. But as a black man, I see that as that's tyranny. That's a flag that terrorizes my people. And the people in Syria see that as they're getting bombed right now, and then America talking about they don't want those people coming to our country when the pilgrims came over here and we're about to celebrate Thanksgiving, and they're forgetting the whole essence of that holiday by not allowing them to come over here. But you're supporting that, and it just reminds me of that same thing, the prejudice. The tradition, not prejudice thing.
Chad,
if you were from Syria. If you were from Syria, Walter, you would feel like, oh man, like they flying those flags. That's not cool.
Yo, I'm pretty sure people in Syria not on Facebook right now counting people's Facebook profile pictures.
A good example would be like Algerians don't like the French at all because that's a form of colonial master for them. That if you were to have a French flag in Algeria, they would not be pleased about it. So I hear what you're saying.
But hold on real quick. And Chad, I get it. You're a really intelligent brother. But it's all over the place with the discussion because the Confederate flag. I'm from the South. I'm from VA. My last year of high school, somebody took the school flag down and put the Confederate flag up. I knew what time it was, right? that was the intent because it represents slavery, it represents the Confederacy. I get all of that, right? But people are using the French flag as a way to honor those who died in Paris, right? You're talking about two different things. The people who are using the Confederate flag, they're from the South, right? They're saying this is their mind state of where they came from. People changing their profile picture on a Tuesday are not saying that everything historically that happened with France they're supporting. They're just saying that for a day or two or a week that I'm going to do a moment of silence via the profile picture to honor the victims. It's not, I think you're making it a lot deeper than what it doesn't have to be.
But Walter, can you have patriotism without militarism? That's really the question that's coming to mind when I hear about this. Not only thinking about Chad's example, but when I'll have the U.S. flag up and I'm very proud to be an American, can I have that flag and be proud of that flag and not represent the military might of this country? Because those things are very coupled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Chris, it depends on how you look at it. Because if you're looking at it from a standpoint of this is a flag that are supporting black folks getting killed in the street, you may not rock with it. You may say, you know what? Well, guess what? I'm more American than that person because my family was here and they were slaves and they built up their own business, and I am an American. I may be African descent, but I have just as much right to call myself American as that person, so I'm going to wear this flag, right? Those are two different things because we're here. And it's our country and those are words that we have. But I think just saying, oh, well, these people died who lived in France, I put the flag up for 2 or 3 days, is not showing support for war. If people are literally saying, I'm doing this because I'm honoring it, again, we have to go by what people are saying. If people are saying they're not about that, they're not about that. If I'm walking to LA with all red on and I'm telling you I'm not a blood, I'm not a blood.
But you still gonna get shot though.
Not if I'm in Hollywood. Not if I'm in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But I may not, because somebody may say, you know what, homie? Yo, I feel you on that, homie. You ain't blood. He's good. He ain't tripping, right? He ain't tripping. Whatever.
Grandma stay where your mama stay. I need to know something.
That's what I'm saying. Or I could be a blood and not wear any colors. Right. And you ask me, and I'm like, and I'm throwing up sets. So it's about what people say and their intentions. You can't generalize people and tell them what their intentions are.
But intention isn't the whole interpretation, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, interpretation's a two-way street.
But exactly.
We're talking about a Facebook profile picture. We're not talking about people that's running around with French shirts on and running around with all French everything and just like, yo, like I'm all about this French life. We're talking about changing the color of your profile picture. Like, like, come on. Like, it's not. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I was gonna make another example about, you know, to kind of try to understand where Chad's coming from until I remember one thing. What's so different and disrespectful about the Confederate flag is that there is another flag. So that's an intentional option, right? So I was like, hey, if you had an elder that fought in the Confederate War, maybe you could try to spin that and say, you got to ask me why I have a Confederate flag until you remember. Well, it's a whole nother flag. So you're intentionally separating the unity of the flag now to fly that flag of another one. So now if there was another flag that represented, you know, France or Paris that was something separate that had a totally different meaning, and you flew this one instead of that one, then yeah, that's fine. But there isn't a separation, whereas the Confederate example, there's a clear separation when you choose to fly the Confederate flag as opposed to the current flag.
But I seen Walter on his status use the Eiffel Tower, and then, you know, he put "Pray for Paris." I mean, to me, that's a safer way to go. That's what they should have did, because everybody knows about the Eiffel Tower. You know, Paris is a very symbolic city. Like, they got the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, but they could have put anything. But they, you know, that flag though. Come on, man! Like that a flag is a symbol. It represents something, and then whatever it represents, it doesn't represent the same thing to everybody. So some people see it as tyranny.
Remember the Facebook audience, Chad. Like you talk, like I said, it's literally a 50-year-old woman who was coming home late, saw something crazy on the news, barely working her Facebook on her smartphone, and was like, "Oh, this would be nice. Let me make that my profile picture." And you're asking her, you should have done something totally different, outside of my capabilities or even my desires, when I just wanted to show love over here to some people that died. I don't know nothing about the history. I wasn't thinking about that. I'm probably about to start, you know, brining my turkey for Thanksgiving. But Chad wants me
No, don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. No, go to work. Go to work. Don't visit your family. Don't eat. Don't celebrate because the Pilgrims came and they killed everybody. So celebrate Thanksgiving. Celebrate Columbus Day. Just stay at work. Don't go home. So Chad, again, I agree with you saying, my brother, in terms of there's other ways you could have put the Eiffel Tower. I get all that. But what I would have challenged you, right? I want to challenge you as a brother, because we got to keep each other on our squares, right? I want to challenge you to maybe try to take more time to just kind of articulate other solutions, because I saw more of you mocking people and saying what they were doing versus saying, why don't y'all post the Eiffel Tower up? Why don't y'all post these other things up? And asking other people. I feel like you kind of just jump to one conclusion based off a small group of people. So I would challenge you more to kind of just talk to people and ask them what their intentions are before generalizing a whole group of people. Because it seems really, I'm not saying you're doing this, but it seems more like attention grabbing. Like, I can get more attention if I'm counter this. If I'm team anti, then I can get people to spark conversation and hear my puppets and play, versus actually offering positive solutions that are going to help people outside of what you're giving them. That's all I'm challenging you to do. And I challenge you too to not jump on people's posts and generalize a whole bunch of people that you don't know, because a lot of people who like my posts are pastors, are mothers, are fathers, people who I may care about, who may care about. So when you jump on and you say y'all all sheep, if you like this, you commented, and I'm this and I'm that, we not feeling you because you don't know their hearts and they don't know you and you don't know them. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm challenging you. I'm not telling you, I'm not demanding you, but I'm challenging you to do that. Because you have positive insight, delivery's just far, brother. If I give you a pizza in the trash bag, you gonna eat that? You know what I'm saying? It could be good pizza, but it's in a trash bag. But if I put it in a nice box on a nice plate for you and it's shined up, you gonna tear it up. That's all I'm asking you.
So after this, can Chad come to your family reunion? Because he made a lot of mad.
Not now. Well, it can't be Thanksgiving because I'm woke. Well, it can't be Thanksgiving because I'm woke. It can't be Valentine's Day because I'm woke. I'm going to just stay awake. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to just stay woke and not celebrate anything. I'm not going to spend any money because there's an American flag on it. I'm not going to use coins. I'm not going to go to Walmart. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to I don't know what I'm going to do. So to wrap this up, man, right? Stay woke. Y'all stay woke people. We ran out of time. But there's a lot of issues, and I was hoping a couple people were going to try to jump on. But we'll get to that later. We get back to the music. We'll get to that later. So any last words, Erica? The radio failed. What's up?
Yeah, man. I just want to really, tell everybody, let's spread love, man. Let's put some love in this place, because us going back and forth about agendas, Facebook profiles, who did what started what war. Us going eye for eye, everybody gonna be blind, and we all gonna be living the Hunger Games out this bitch soon. You know what I mean? So I think we should all just love each other no matter what. Spread love. Yeah, man. Let's spread love, man. And the Radio Fail new episode gonna be up soon. It's actually called Stay Woke. So make sure y'all give it to radiofail.com.
Hashtag. Because I really wish, and I'm gonna say one thing, I'm gonna let it go. I really wish these stay woke people would come together, because I'm seeing all these stay woke people on Facebook. Yeah. Y'all so anti-corporation. No, they so anti-corporation. They're using a platform funded by an anti-corporation. So I can't take nothing you say serious after your hashtag, because Walmart and Best Buy, the same places you want to boycott for Black Friday, are funding Facebook that you use to spread your message. So if you want to stop something, stop using Facebook. Then I'll take you serious. Or give me a solution. Other than that, point. Deshauna, any last words?
Man, I just really want to point out to people out there the power of BMOC. Most people just unfriend you. He gonna bring you on the YouTube channel and let it be known. It was a lot easier to unfriend somebody, but nah, he gonna let it be known.
I read your book. I read your footnotes. How you
he got to be a standby. You know what I'm saying? So great episode. Thank everybody for coming on.
Yeah.
Chris, any last words, my brother?
Hey man, it's a joy and pleasure. And I think I just really want everyone to understand, as we get into this holiday season, what that's supposed to be about. Loving the stranger, feeding the homeless, remembering those who aren't remembered, remembering the others. So don't be out here propagating all this nonsense, treating people as if they not belonging to anybody. Like, we all gotta spread love. We all gotta remember that, God made us all.
Yeah, and I wish somebody would. That's a good point. because on this, actually, the attack happened on the 13th. My birthday was the 14th. That morning, I was changing my profile picture because I was feeding the homeless in Harlem. That started off my birthday. I'm not saying I'm Malcolm X because of it. I'm just saying that the time that I spent for my birthday, while people would change the picture, that's what I was doing. So somebody else changed the picture. Somebody else posted the article. So people spread love in different ways, and I embrace all of you people. Chad, any last words, my brother?
Just want to say that I'm not one of these people that you saw on Facebook because it was real disrespectful. I even found it disrespectful. They were saying F Paris and F the people that died. I'm not about that. That's not the message I'm spreading. My whole thing is about equality. Like, I just want people to recognize the tragedies of the darker people of the world and not just France. That's my whole message. It's not hate. I feel sorry about those people that died. Injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere.
Absolutely. I have plans to go to Paris next year, and I asked the friends that just went, and they came. They was at a party, and I couldn't find one light face up in there. You know what I'm saying? Right. They were talking to all of us up here, so you know what I'm saying. Shout out to everybody, man. And I agree with Chad. I think the media needs to spend more time spreading love to everybody. I feel like even Facebook, it would have been nice to have options for other flags in the future. Maybe all this conversation would allow them to do that. But until then, let's not point the finger at just us. Let's point the finger at the corporations who have that option to do that and represent us. So thanks everybody so much out there who's been watching. If you have any thoughts, things that we missed, do you agree with me, not agree with everybody else, whatever it is, just put your comments, let your thoughts be known. Hey.
Let's
little sweetness in the picture. So again, if you love what we're doing, please make sure to subscribe to youtube.com/BMOCTV or BMOC.TV. Check us out for the next episode of The Culture Sunday. We get back to the music, R&B male groups from the 90s and the 2000s. That should be a good one. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace.